Thanks for tuning in again, everybody. We're back with your favorite podcast, Luca's Tigers and Bronze. Oh my.
Luca Nation, we got a loaded episode for you guys today. So we have a week full of guests, chock full of guests that I know you guys are going to absolutely love. So I'm going to leave that as a cliffhanger, let you guys experience them for yourselves. So I'm so excited for that. We're also kind of in between NBA Top Shot releases. So Cage is in the waiting room. He's excited. I've got a fire.
I'm not in the
play for
waiting
you
room
guys.
yet. Who knows if they're even going to have a waiting room? Who knows what they're going to
You're
do?
in you're in the waiting room of the waiting room. You're the pre-waiting room.
I'm waiting to get in a waiting room, the weight room. But listen, we won't make this Top Shot episode, but I will tell you this, right? I'm on the Discord, right? And every day I wake up and I'm like, should I just sell all my Top Shot stuff? I mean, should I just get out and just take my money and run and just leave? And then they try to do a drop where there's going to be 50,000 packs, where there should be enough for everybody, right? I mean, I don't think there's 50,000 total users on all of Discord, right? There should be 50,000 packs to drop today. Everybody should get one. It's like, the everlasting gobstopper here, everyone will get one and one is enough for everybody. But the thing crashes because there's just so many people trying to get on. And then the Discord is literally like broken. You can't even read the messages. They're coming in so fast because
people are not
people
happy.
Want to get on. People are not happy. People want to get their packs. But at the root of that, think about that. What that means, you're going to hear a lot of supply and demand, right? There clearly is a demand, right? There is a rabid demand. So I see this and I'm like, yeah, would it be great if everything went off without a hitch and, I got a pack and I was able to pay $14 and I got $25 worth of stuff in it? That would be fantastic. I'll be thrilled. I'll be happy. I keep playing this game, this slot machine of Top Shot. Am I even happier now, though, that it didn't work? Because you have all of these hobgoblins coming out of the woodwork now to complain. It just shows you how much crazy demand there is for this product. Yeah, that makes me happy, too. And it'll allow me to go to sleep again tonight saying I'm not selling. I'm not leaving.
Cage.
I'm doing my Jordan Belfort. I'm not leaving.
Jordan, the producer, edit that into this clip. But Twitter is just as bad, Cage. People are, it's a mutiny. It's a mutiny. And thank God for GIFs. Do you know what a GIF is, Cage? Do you use them?
Yeah, I sometimes I use Peanut Pan, but I like that I like other brands of peanut butter too. Like Jif, that's a good one too. The Jif Crunchy, it's a good peanut butter also.
All right.
That's not what you meant, Jif?
Jif, I did. That's exactly what I meant. No, the GIFs on Twitter are hilarious. What do you got for us? I have something a little sentimental because I flew home for a funeral, so I just wanted to kind of jump on here and share. Cage.
What funeral did you go to? Did you go for the funeral Vegas Dave was putting on for the hobby?
Yeah, I did. Gary Vee was there. Lefko was there. All the best players were there. They were laughing in Vegas Dave's face. No, I went to a family friend, and I called Cage last night, or he called me, and I said, after going to funerals, I always leave inspired. Because I think when you go to a funeral, you get to see, how somebody lived. And at this funeral, there were so many people. There were so many people there, and the one kind of resounding theme was the person that passed away. She was a lady. She died of cancer. Is how she made other people feel. She made life about others and not herself. And it's interesting when funerals are such an interesting concept. We go and we celebrate someone's life, and some people look at it as really sad. Some people are inspired. Other people have. You go to a funeral, everyone has their own kind of perception and their own takeaway from it. But mine is, man, if you live a life full of service, if you live a life helping others, putting a smile on other people's face, that's a fulfilled life. And it was cool to see how the legacy that this lady left, and it inspired me to come back, work harder. But I was also incredibly proud of what we're building here, because when you go to a funeral, I think, at least I do this, you take an inventory of your life. You take an inventory of where I'm at, where I want to be, where I want my family to be. And I'm incredibly proud. I'm incredibly proud of you, Cage. I'm incredibly proud of Jordan, our producer, Gavin, who helps us a ton with TikTok. So I hope that we continue to add value to you guys out there. I hope that, when you guys DM us questions, should I buy this card? Should I sell this card? Is this worth grading? I hope that we're able to be a bright spot in your guys' life. And I promise you, this is just the beginning. And we'll keep working extremely hard to really, really deliver for our community. So I know that's a little bit kind of heady in the clouds cage, but we get these experiences and it's really hard to share. I don't always have the right words, but I hope you guys out there pick up on my intention and why I came on and shared that. Anything to say, Cage? I know that's not our typical episode, and I know that it's not always what you like to hear, but anything you want to add? You want to get right into our plays? You want to preview our week? You want to talk about, I think there was the Arena Football League. Johnny Manziel's back.
That's the thing we're going to go with?
I was just throwing out options. I want to ask you something, actually. Fine, I'll rock with this.
Listen, I got to tell you, that it's okay when you get a little sentimental. That's fine. It's okay. Every once in a while, you got to do that. You got to take stock in your life. When I go to funerals, I come back and I take stock in my collection, and I say, look at what I've done with my life. I have a nice collection of cards. Yeah, there's kids involved too, and that's nice. And I got a house, and I've done some stuff, but I really like my Babe Ruth cards, and I say to myself, I don't really have that much longer to go. Maybe I should upgrade this PSA 4 to a PSA 5. And you go from from taking stock to setting goals. What kind of goals you set for yourself, man? That's the important thing. What'd you do? What's your goal?
Goals or intentions?
Both, either one. I'll take. I know you're going to tell me why they're different.
Okay. Well, I want to have $100,000 in my card collection by end of the year. My goal last year was $30K. You say that, but dude, don't forget, I started last year with zero. My goal last year was to have $30K in assets. It's so funny. I never thought of myself as a conservative guy. I guess we are in an extremely bull market. So like $30,000 is like laughable when other people have probably made $500K last year. But I'm a conservative guy. And so like last year, my goal was to end the year with at least $30K. You could blow through that number. I think I finished closer to 50, but $30K in liquid assets. This year, I wanted to have $100K. You think I should set bigger goals?
No, but that's that's 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 good moves. Just like you say, right? It's make it 10% here, make it 10% there, and and making a couple of good moves, taking your profit and rolling that profit into something else. So
I sometimes think when you set like too lavish of goals, and I've ran into this experience before in my life, you tend to take unnecessary risks, right? So like to make $1 million in this year on cards, it sounds great and all, but your game plan changes. And I think you go from being conservative to taking really aggressive risks that in a bull market might pay off. But if things turn just slightly the other way, you could lose it all too. Like I think we sometimes don't talk about risk. We just talk about reward, right? I want to reward myself with $1 million collection. Right, but are you doing that by taking unnecessary huge risks? So for me, I wanted to end this year with $100K in assets for sports cards, and I wanted to be self-sufficient. So that means that I'm able to day trade and understand how the stock market moves, self-sufficient, without the help of the mentors and the teachers that I'm working with. So those were my 2 goals by the end of the year. I also want to stay in Mexico till the end of the year. My goal is to continue building this podcast, but that's an intention. Build this community, serve people, help people. So what about you, Cage?
Right now, my only goal is to try to get a cool cat pack.
You are a cool cat.
I am a cool cat. I just want to get one of these packs, man. I want to get a pack. I'm very upset right now. Had my whole day planned around, getting one of these packs. Wasn't going to be doing an episode, and then they delay it, and I'm preoccupied. I'm like I'm like a cat chasing after. I'm like a cat chasing after a laser pointer over here.
Well, Top Shot should take after us. We sold out our Marvel break in record time. It was 1 second. We literally sold out our Marvel break in record time, Cage. You want to talk about the Marvel break at all? You had your whole day planned around the Top Shot, but not the Marvel?
we're gonna definitely do it at 8 o'clock tonight. If you happen to be one of the people who listens to this right when we drop it, get on over to our Instagram live. We're gonna be doing a box of 1990 Marvel, Impul, I think was the name of the company that did it. And I got some bonus cards, got some extra cards. I've opened a few of these boxes myself already. So, if you happen to be somebody who bought 1 or 2 packs and you don't get anything good, I got some extras. I got some Punisher and some Captain America and some Avengers cards, just extras to throw in there and say, all right, you know what, if you got a dud of a pack, we got you. And we'll see if it's a success. Maybe we'll do another one, or maybe we'll do something else. A different kind. The breaking, we've done breaks a couple times. Just another one of those fun things to do. If you add up what we're breaking this box at total, you can't get a box for that price on eBay. So that's part of the fun, part of the value we bring to to the crew. And it definitely should be fun. I'm hoping that we'll talk about it during the break, but I've broken a couple of these boxes already myself. Some of them are really good. Some of them the cards are off center. I'm hoping that we open up the first pack and the cards look really nice, because that means the people who got in this break are going to be able to get some cards that are probably gradable. And the PSA 10s on these, they sell for a lot of money. Also, I have broken quite a few boxes, and I've gotten a couple of boxes with 1 hollow, and one box I had 4 hollows in it. So that's another thing I'm interested to see. Um, when it comes to the box, how many hollows are we going to get in there? Because it's random. It's a completely random thing. Most boxes have 1, but like I said, I've seen more. So
what's the prize card in that box?
The hollows are the chase, right? That's one of the first chase cards, right? So the hollows. But the tough part about the hollows is because now the chase is different, right? Because everybody wants a PSA 10. Even opening up a sealed box and getting a hollow, a PSA 10 of those hollows, that's a tough ask, because they are, most of them come out off centered. They're just not, they were not done really, really well. If you take a look at the ones that are on eBay, not only the ones that have come out of packs a long time ago, they're scratched up like crazy. You'll see during the break, we'll pull one or whatever. That would be the prize. Like if you were able to pull a real nice centered hollow, I mean, you're talking about thousands of dollars there. No doubt. So that would be definitely what you're looking for. And the one you'd want is the Spider-Man one of the hollows. Wolverine's pretty cool too, but Spider-Man would be the hollow. And the same thing, as far as the cards go, the base card, Stan Lee in a PSA 10 is huge, thousands of bucks. In all the boxes that I've opened, I have not gotten a centered one. So that makes it tough also. So that one, Black Panther is a big one. There's Iron Man, there's Captain America, Thor. There's different Spider-Mans. Cosmic Spider-Man. There's a Spider-Man wearing a black Spider-Man suit, kind of like in the last movie. That was a cool one too. So there's a lot of cool cards to chase. Take out rookies.
Cage, are you going to break on Instagram Live?
Yeah, I'll do Instagram Live tonight at 8 o'clock.
Love it. Yeah, and we posted to our story. So if you guys are looking for details, have any questions, maybe we'll do one again sometime. So all the information's on our post and on our story. Cage.
Yep.
So you don't miss out on the cool cats.
I'm gonna miss out anyway. Somehow I'm gonna miss out anyway, but I don't care. Listen, guys, you will have somebody from Top Shot on soon enough, because that's just the way we roll. I talk about it enough. We might as well go to the source, right? But I'm having fun with it. Whether or not I get one of these packs today or whatnot, it's been a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun doing it. And it clearly is demand, for what they're doing. So I like it. But yeah, so you got to play for today, my friend.
I do. And guys, I don't mean to, when I come on here, I don't always articulate exactly, how I want to say things perfectly, but I think what's been amazing about our community is you guys give me a lot of grace. You give me the benefit of the doubt, and you allow me to speak my mind. And then if there's things that you want me to elaborate on, you DM me. So I love that. And I think it's important to understand that I don't think that the hobby bubble is going to burst. I don't think that we're anywhere near slowing down, but I do think that there needs to be a level of skepticism and conservatism that's applied to these rising prices that are just astronomical. But my play today, I'm really excited for this play. And actually, Cage, this is my favorite Kobe rookie card. I know I change that all the time. And it's my favorite because it's got the American flag in the background. It's Kobe with his tongue out, aggressive, ferocious in his eyes, the Spalding ball right by his head. Do you know what the card I'm talking about is?
Nope. What is it?
Do you know the card that he autographed by pen? And
Is it like a
you know,
scoreboard?
that's exactly right. And I'm not telling you to buy the auto and I love autos where the player kind of numbers the card on his own, like 46 out of 99, he writes it on the card. For me, I think that has so much appeal. But I'm talking about actually the base one. So a lot of people have been reaching out, what's another Kobe card to play? I want to buy a Kobe card. I want it for my personal collection. And I think the scoreboard card number 15, it's called 1996 scoreboard autographed, even if it's not autographed, ironically, basketball number 15 Kobe Bryant rookie card. So I think that's a card that you can get a very good deal on. And if you grade it, you're going to be in profit if it hits a PSA 8, 9, or 10. Cage, it's card number 15, like I said, 1996 scoreboard. It's got an awesome picture on the front. And it actually retails, Cage, for like 35, 40 bucks. Some are a little bit higher. You know how older cards, based on the condition, if the comps are right around 40, some of the PSA 10 with a question mark listings might be 75.
Mm-hmm.
But even if that's the case, the PSA 10 sell for 900 bucks. The PSA 9 sell for about 250 to 200. PSA 8s are over 100. So you've got a lot of margin for error with this card. And I think it's a super cool card to add to your collection. So I highly recommend it. I have one in my collection. Got a PSA 9, not a PSA 10. But I think it's a card that people didn't grade as much recently. And I think you have a real shot at it. And don't forget, you could throw this into a bulk sub for 15 bucks grading fee because it's an older card. And add a Kobe to your collection that won't break the bank. And that's what I want to do here. I want to bring you guys low risk, high reward plays.
I like it. I like it. Low risk and high reward is the way to go. So here's my play for the day, I guess, is the way to say it, right? So I'm learning a lot in the hobby recently. I'm learning it in all different types. I'm learning it in our basketball cards, the modern versus goats. I'm learning it in just overall card purchases. I'm learning it in hell. I'm learning it in Top Shot, right? I'm learning it in where are people chasing? What are people putting their money into, right? And if even in Top Shot, what you're noticing is people who sell a couple of packs, they open up a couple things. You know what they do? They're chasing LeBron. They're trying to get themselves a LeBron card or a Durant card or whatever it is. And, we've had a couple of episodes and a lot of conversations about this recently, but basically it's goats, right? It's that's where the money flows, right? It's you can't really get hurt buying those goats. That's why I don't have a problem with you talking about Kobe all the time, right? Because putting your money in Kobe is a pretty safe place to put it. I don't mind, Kobe play every day almost, especially because there are just so many ways to play it. So what I've noticed recently, and I'm going to go to baseball, right? Because what I've noticed recently, yesterday I put a picture up on my personal Instagram account of my baseball collection, and I don't take them out that often. But I think David Peck put out some wrestling cards, and baseball's about to start up, so I was like, all right, let me take these out, and we'll take a picture of them. A little bit of a Yankee bias, obviously, because I'm here in New York, and I started looking up some of the prices on some of these cards, and I'm like, wow, these cards they've appreciated the same way that some of the basketball cards have appreciated, and some of them way more than I thought they would have. Modern stuff, cheater stuff, and I started to think to myself, all right, there are some cards that I don't have. There's a card that I always wanted. It's who I consider the best pitcher of my time. I was a little young when Nolan Ryan was dominant. I mean, he started pitching in the '60s, so I wasn't even alive. I was there for the end of his career, saw his last couple of no hitters, and he was a dominant pitcher. But there was one pitcher who stood above all of the other pitchers. Basically when I was growing up, and was a formative, my formative baseball years, and it was Roger Clemens. And there was a card that I wanted to buy and always thought was just too expensive when I started, coming back into the hobby again. I was like, I got to get this. He's got an 85 Topps Tiffany version of his rookie card. And there are less than 50 of them in PSA 10. And this will be the next card that's, that's put up there in the quote unquote baseball goats. I'm not saying it's going to be $500,000 like Kobe's refractor card. And it probably won't go as high as like, the Jerry Rice, the Joe Montana that have similar pops. This one has less, especially because of the checkered past of Clemens with the steroids and whatnot. But I looked at the card and I'm like, all right, there are none on eBay right now in PSA 10 because there's only 40 something of them in existence anyway. And the last few have sold for 5 figures. So I'm like, all right, this is one of those cards where if somebody wants to get into Clemens now, they probably can't. They can't get that card. And, if you can and you want to chase that card, you're going to be paying a ton of money. So I think to myself, all right, Clemens is somebody who a blue chip collector is going to want to get in their collection. A fund is going to want to get into their fund. People are going to want Clemens, but they're not going to get this card. So sure, they can go PSA 9, but what is another way of getting Clemens into your fund, into your collection? And there's a card out there that I happen to like better than that Topps Tiffany because I consider it a real rookie. Some would say an XRC. You guys know what that is. Look at Mahomes Select card. Look at the Topps Finest 2012 for LeBron. You're fully familiar with XRCs of GOATs. They usually don't have the same value as that first Prism or Topps Chrome card. And in this case, it's not going to be as valuable as the 2005 Topps Tiffany. But the pop is still about 500 on this card. And I will tell you, growing up, collecting in the 80s, it was only your rich friends who had this set. The 1984 Fleer update set. Okay, it was like a traded set. You know how Topps does an update set now where people are traded and rookies come up? Well, it used to be Topps traded. Fleer had update. Topps kind of stole that from Fleer in the 80s. Fleer did an update set. Okay, the 84 Fleer update set. Fleer beat Topps to 3 huge rookies in the same set. That's what made this set this I think 84. I mean, 83 was pretty awesome too, but I think 84 was the year that put Don Russ and Fleer ahead of Topps. Their base sets were better. People wanted the Mattingly in 84 better, but 84 update set, they scooped Topps to 3 major rookies. 1, Doc Gooden, 2, Kirby Puckett, and 3, Roger Clemens. So while Clemens' Topps rookie is 1985, he has a 1984 card in that Fleer update set. All right. And the PSA 10 on that card, the last couple have sold for, 4 figures, but like 1,000 and change, 2,000, and there are still some available on eBay now. That would be a card I'd look at if I were, I happen to just sell, some modern basketball and I got, $1,500 or $2,000 or $2,500 in a 10. It's definitely one that I think in a 9 is a huge come up. It's something you can get for a couple $100. And it's one that's going to head up. If you like Puckett, it's even cheaper. I think Clemens is the way to go. I believe Clemens and Bonds get in the Hall of Fame next year. Obviously, if you're one of the folks that falls on the side of, those are cheaters, they suck, they should never get in, they shouldn't be mentioned as GOATs, well, this is not a play for you. I happen to think that illegal drug use has been, a part of baseball as much as Cracker Jacks have been for the better part of a century, if not more. Now it's just in the form of steroids. I'm not going to go as far as our guest, Mr. Bischoff, last week, who basically said, "Go ahead and use whatever you want." I'm paraphrasing; he didn't actually say that, but ultimately, Roger Clemens is one of the greatest to ever pitch in the game. Mark McGwire is one of the greatest to ever hit. Barry Bonds was one of the greatest ever, and I think they would still be the greats had you taken steroids off the table. Anyway. If you happen to find the Topps Tiffany one and you want to part with the $15,000, $20,000 that it's going to cost to get that, I think it's a great buy. I'm looking for one myself. But if you want the one that I think people are going to chase because they can't find that Tiffany, the 84 Fleer update is a really cool set. They do come up. They're available for auction. You can find them. And I think if you're looking to add, one of the quote unquote goats, one of the pitching goats from the last generation, Roger Clemens, this is the way to go.
I love it. KJ, I have two questions, and then we'll
Sure.
wrap because we need to get to this. Top Shot Cool Cats release. Whatever
Nothing's
happened
doing
to
still.
Fleer?
Haven't done anything.
Whatever happened to Fleer? Fleer, in my opinion, is one of the coolest brands of cards, and I love their designs. I love how like they're kind of simple looking, but they're also elegant. What happened to Fleer?
Honestly, I don't honestly know what happened to Fleer. I mean, they were making, they're making cards, you know, in the LeBron era, and I think basically a year or two after that, they were done. Right? They stopped making trade cards in 2005. Um, I think Upper Deck owns their name.
Hmm.
I think Upper Deck won their name and that kind of stuff. So I think Upper Deck owns Fleer. I haven't seen too much stuff come out. I think Fleer had metal. Fleer had some really cool stuff. But I'm pretty sure that that Upper Deck owns their trade name. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know what happened. I had no idea. I mean, they made when you were a kid. Did you ever chew double bubble baseball gun?
Yeah.
The yellow and blue. That was
Mm-hmm.
Fleer. And I think they bought Skybox, and that might have been part of the problem. I think they bought the Skybox company, and then maybe they got over leveraged. Honestly, I'd have to look it up to see, but I know they bought
No problem.
Skybox, and but I'm pretty sure, yeah, '05 was the end of it for them, which they went bankrupt, and that was it. I would love to
So
see some of those iconic brands come back out.
me too. Second question, but this might not necessarily apply to this card because this card you could, but it's the BGS Black Label Kobe Top Chrome Refractor.
The one that's in
And
golden. But there's two of
yes,
them in the world.
that's right. But here's the thing, Cage. Would you pay 246x for a Black Label?
So I would tell you what I would do, right?
Please.
I would instead buy 4 10s, PSA 10s, and I would, if I were the rich person who's going to spend 7 figures on that that BGS 10. What's it up to? 800 grand, 900 grand already, and the auction shouldn't even
Right.
have started yet. And I would drive them in, fly them in on my private jet to PSA, and say, hey, here's 5 of the nicest PSA 10s in the world. I'd fly them into BGS myself, and I'd say, hey, I think one of these at least is a BGS 10. I think one of them is a Black Label. Let's go. And I gamble that way. I wouldn't, I mean, because there are. What's funny about it is, yes, there are only 2 Black Labels, but 90% of the PSA 10s out there haven't been sent to BGS to Black Label them, and I'm sure there are other ones that would qualify. So to me, while it's great and we're all about scarcity and we're all about supply and demand, I wouldn't be paying 4 times. Sure, I pay a premium. I pay a premium for a 10. I'd pay an even more premium for a Black Label 10. But I'm not that guy. I'm not the one that's going to sit at the table and say, here's my oh, I see your PSA 10 and I raise you. Here's a Black Label BGS 10.
Right.
That's not me.
And also, there's 2 things to this, right? A BGS Black Label 10, it doesn't have liquidity. So it's really hard to know when a market takes a dive or whatever you want to call it, pull back. What is that card really worth? And second, you're at the mercy of a company who's completely underperformed in the last 12 to 14 months. Wouldn't that make you a little bit nervous? Like here you have PSA that has just a track record of success, it's growing exponentially, and then you have BGS who's kind of dropping the ball. Wouldn't you be nervous holding that card because you have a beautiful card, but at the same time, any moment, let's say BGS files for bankruptcy, what happens? Does it
Yeah,
still
I
have the
mean,
value?
it's definitely an interesting conversation. I wish I had an answer for you on it, but I'm not a BGS. I'm not a BGS person. You know what I mean? Like it's just not my thing. I did collect. I did grade with BGS. That's not something, like I said, I would pay a huge premium for. It's just not. So I wouldn't be nervous though that, hey, BGS is going to go defunct. I mean, I don't think that's what happens. They have more cards, inventory than they know what to do with right now. I don't think they're worried about going defunct. I think they're worried about, how they're going to spend all the money they're making. Um, So I don't think it happens. I think before that happens, the Nat Turner Jr. or whatever his name is, comes in and buys the thing and makes a legitimate competitor. That space is. I don't think Beckett Grading's going anywhere.
Well, that's the thing, Cage. When I say bankrupt, what I mean by it is they're obviously not spending the money. They're not spending the money on their website to improve the user interface, not spending the money to hire more employers. They're pocketing the money, as they should. Like, I don't know if you've ever been a part of a small business. A small business has that option. It's a private company. It's an owner. The owner has a family, and he could take as much home as he wants, or he can reinvest. I don't think they're spending that money. I think I think the owners and the board is pocketing that money because they're like, look at this. We've waited 20 years and now we could raise prices. Demand is at an all-time high. We're just going to be living large and our company's set up. So I don't think they're reinvesting it. I just think they're pocketing it and living large. But I think that plays itself out in the world of business.
Well, I mean, you may be right. My deal is I don't think that there's going to be any issue at all with any of the grading companies, at least not right now. I mean, are they taking their money out? I'll never know. I just wish some of the cards would come back. And by the way, here's a fun one. I will tell you, just as an update to people who stayed on for the full 35 minutes of this rambling episode here, and hopefully you're a Clemens fan. Yesterday I was clicking around in my PSA account, and I have one PSA Pokemon one, excuse me, guys. Pokemon one that is I sent in June. It was the second quarter 2020 quarterly special. So think about that. In 6 weeks, PSA will roll out their second quarter quarterly special for the next year. And my stuff is still in research and ID. And it's a minimal 28 card. I just sent them in for Ian, some modern Pokemon cards, nothing nuts at all. And it's sitting in research and ID. So I haven't really done anything, right? I haven't checked anything. I'm looking at them. I click on the next one up, which is one that I sent in August. And according to PSA, they logged it in October. Right, I sent it in August. It's all baseball cards. It's all stuff that I opened from Topps when Topps released last year. A bunch of like Kyle Lewis and that kind of stuff. Where I was buying the raw cards and sending them in. That hit grading yesterday. So I'm like, hey, now
that's a good feeling. That's a good feeling.
Remember, they could just have it sit in grading for the next 8 months. That doesn't mean anything either. But yeah, it's nice to see at least something happened, because I have 8 orders from the last 8 months that are all just sitting in research and ID. Some of them I sent in September that finally got logged in as received by PSA in January from when I mailed them in September. So that's that's an interesting thing. So I guess the summary on that is relax, everybody take a breath. These grading card companies are not going anywhere. They got a lot of cards. They're grading a lot of cards, and you will get your cards back. But take it easy. Be patient. Be patient with the PSA, and when it comes back, you'll have plenty of money, because that's what's going to happen. PSA magic. But yes, I was excited yesterday. I was like, wow, look at this. I got my something's moved to grading. It was like such a great feeling,
It is, brother. There you guys have it. Join us tonight, 8 p.m. Cage is going to be breaking Marvel boxes. So,
dude, are you going to be topless for the break too? Are you going to jump on and I'll let you in live? You're going to be topless for all the Marvel lady fans out there? No, you can't be topless, pal.
Oh, you're dumb. I just got back to Mexico, brother.
Yeah, man. Listen, if I just flew into Mexico, I'd take my shirt off too. It would be a lot of fun. It would scare all the ladies off the beach. But this is how I roll. Free Willy.
That's my goal. My goal for you is to
scare the ladies off the beach. That's an easy goal. Yes. It happens every time.
Love you, Luke Nation.
Later, everybody. Thank you for spending some time with us on another episode of the Lucas, Tigers, and Bronze Oh My podcast. Do us a favor and like, subscribe. You know what? Don't just like and subscribe. Everybody does that. If you like us, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies, tell everybody. And we hope you got something from spending some time with us today, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.